What it do, YouTube? Yeah, I'm back at it like a YouTube addict. Hey, look, I'm about to tell y'all a couple stories. I was thinking about just doing one, and then I was like, or trying to just combine one, and then I'm like, nah, man, I can't do neither one of these people like these two females like this because they need their own recognition. Because honestly speaking, one was like in our time, in our era, was legitimate in my eyes because I couldn't see nobody south or central that was top gun like she was, especially when it comes to these things. And the other one, and she was black, and the other one was top gun, scrapper, smaller, but was really with the business. She didn't put a couple chicks on that became legends from what I was told. I was younger, remember, and also I didn't see her put them hands on some folks with my own eyes, and seen her put in some other work that we'll get into with my own eyes. But let's go ahead and get these things out the way. My shout outs. Want to give a shout out to Stephen A. Smith, uh, First Take, the Kev Mac Videos, Street TV, 89 on Up Homie, C. Bill, um, Joe T, Cartoon One, 16 to Life, Inglewood Legends, um, Jay Williams, uh, staying out the way Trey. Got to be mentioning my guy more often because I've definitely been on him more often than anyone lately. And honestly, he's been the most consistent. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday bangers and an extra banger. That's just what he does. So shout out to that cat. And, Real Kins TV, and of course, what on Charlie Global, yeah, Cha Cha, yeah, he got some heat. So and there's plenty more. Like I said, I'm gonna eventually write them all down because I know I'd be forgetting some and don't be meaning to. And Big Homie Blocks and his wife just took on one of this kids. That cat should be in comedy because he is a mess. So yeah, I wanted to make sure I got the main and Big Blue Rag. Ain't seen him put out none in a minute, but man, he got content. Just go look through his profile. Whew, legendary heaters for real. Yeah, so Crip or not, you can tell when somebody was putting it down. Oh, and J Hood and the Who's Who. So I've been checking them out. So let's get into the story. We're gonna talk about my Carter, my big home girl, because I was a younger cat. Me and my bro used to go over her and her, I believe it was like her cousin's house. So anybody that know down in the U district, anybody from the central, we're going that way, you know who I'm talking about. But I can't put her name up there because she didn't give me the okay to do so. But I'm definitely gonna tell you the stories that she told me on how it was when she had some issues with some chicks across the south and how she got into it with a legendary cat. And I'm not gonna mention his name, just gonna have to understand where I'm coming from. But certain times I mention certain people because I respect the dead, but there's time when you need to give flowers and it's okay to do so. And then there's times when, yeah, you might not want to speak on everybody's situation because you don't know how people may feel about particular stories. So, saying that to say this, not like everyone that I mentioned in these stories are mentioned in this particular one, but I'm just saying because people have heard me mention DC and Breeze, but that was giving them flowers. That wasn't, and it's not like on any other stories that I mentioned are not giving no one flowers. But if you haven't get someone's okay to use their name that's alive, then it's a little different. But DC, I consider them like my cousin, and Breeze, that's my people's cousin, literally. And so I only know one of his children. Don't really know the other one. My daughter knows him, but definitely know one of them. So shocked me one day. He had saw me and he's like, "You don't remember me?" And I was shocked because he had risen and is grown now. I'm like, whoa, that was you. It reminded me of dentist appointment and all that. So anyway, let's get into it. We're gonna call this lady wow, trying to think of a righteous one for a woman. Dang, almost said something that would have gave her name away. No, it ain't. I'm tripping. 'Cause that's not even. We're gonna call this woman Lady T. So she's giving us some 411 on what had happened the night before. So just to give you a little bit of background, it wasn't like a CD and South End battle. It was more or less some, how should I put it? Two crews were having issues, but certain people that was from both sides knew both crews. And so sometimes there'll be skirmishes and they would be involved. That's because they knew them and or because their females were involved. So of course the other females from the other side got involved. So some of these things I'm starting to learn and know because I've been there for some what you call quote unquote Seattle battles, but it's a trip because literally, I was just talking with my guy from D Dub yesterday. Kadia came, it's a friend of mine. That's what I consider a real friend. I needed something. He knows my condition, my situation, and he went and picked up something for me for my dog. And I really appreciate you, my guy. Shout out. But I'll introduce him when it's time. But like I said, I don't like just throwing somebody's name on there, you know, without their approval. So I was just saying to him, like, man, I remember this particular scrap that had taken place in the Central. I was right there for, and there was a bunch of cats from the district that was there, but there was only four cats from the South End that was there. And here, some folks, not gonna say their names, because the one cat had us thinking it was 200 of them. I kid you not. There's about 200 of them. You females better go back, because at the time, one of the homegirls was pregnant, and so there was like spook something could happen to her and her baby. And come to find out, we got up there, got the Garfield. Man, it was a party going on there. So maybe, in his defense, maybe he was talking like, oh, well, he had seen all those people and just assumed, but that was a party. And anyway, so this, but to my, what I was going to say is when that particular scrap took place, only four cats came up. All from D Dub. Wasn't no whole South End against the Central like it was supposed to be. No, so I've heard about different skirmishes here and there, but originally it wasn't like no big CD South End beef. It was two crews that were really going at it. And there's some cats that got way more knowledge and all that than I do because I was a young pup. I'm not gonna front and pump it up like I was out there and I was the guy and I know all this. This ain't one of them channels. I'm gonna keep it clean as real as I possibly can. If I don't remember, I'm just gonna say I don't remember or I'm gonna shut up. It's just that simple. So what Lady T had told us is that I'm not sure exactly where they had came from and where they were at, but something had taken place in the Central. Mind you, this particular crew, in my opinion, was notorious for coming to the Central. I mean, God, I learned some of my bully tactics from this particular person because, man, that's just how they pushed. And I eventually started pushing the same way on certain folks. And I'll leave it at that. Man, look here. I guess the scuffle was going on. So she's reliving a moment and telling us that it's just kind of going on. Cats is scrapping here and there. Cats is pew pew pew. I mean, not shooting, breaking over this way, scrapping. Some folks is getting down. Well, she said she got caught in a little crossfire and ran into a hitter, and um, she, she's known for throwing them, but it's just like natural reaction. You put up your things. It happened to me before. Natural reaction when you're about to get into it with a opposing crew, that you just automatically do that. And I'll never forget. I was talking with this cat's cousin at school the other day. I didn't tell him the story because I'm not going to tell the person's name, but me and this cat had squared off on each other. This is literally in my hood on 15th and Spruce. They came down there, thick, and they was ready to rumble, and I respect them for that. I almost said something, but I'm not going to. And we ready to scrap, and then I mean, like I said, it's just natural reaction when you see another cat in this kind of nighttime. You just automatically throw them up. Well, once I got a vision of who it was, I was like, oh, that's, and just turned my back, and he did the same thing. That's how much respect, and can't say love because we barely knew each other, but this is how much respect we have for each other, and we had a mutual friend likenship. Like we, respected each other, but it was like, hey, what's up when we seen each other? So we was cool. Because certain hoods I got into it with, I still had certain cats from their neighborhood that I was cool with. That's just how it goes sometimes. And so that's how it was with me and him. And to this day, when I last time I saw him, um, he had, I pulled up in a gas station. He was like, oh, what's up, bro? How you doing? Da, 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 because I was in the hospital in Vegas the last time he had heard, and it was kind of bad for me. Some people thought I was about to be out of here because they had found something in my brain and everything. So it was looking real rough. So we were talking about that, but that's the last time I saw him. But so anyway, that's how the situation happened with her. She had thrown him up against this legendary cat, and his natural response, I'm this is the way I'm thinking, was like, man, this is a chick, and just pushed her. This is what her own words. She said he pushed her, and she flew through a window. This is Lady T we talking about. I'm gonna say her name. Known for scrapping. You'll understand when I tell a little bit more of the story. Said she flew through the window, crashed the window, fell down, got up, said she had when she hit the ground inside of her, I don't know what it was. She said she was able to grab, whether it be a pole or something. She grabbed it, went back out, and just started swinging at cats, swinging all around. And so, I don't know if she hit any of them cats, what have you. Honestly, I forget, but I know she said she swung it at. So later on, or maybe this was a different scrap or different situation, but she runs into some of the chicks, and they're trying to get on her, which I called her, I'll say cousin, because they live together, and we're trying to get on her. We'll call her, excuse me, my bad, y'all. We'll call her Rochelle. Nowhere close to her name. So they're trying to get on her, and mind you, I said to y'all before, she was pregnant. Now she wasn't as far along as when this other episode happened, where I said it was a scuffle, and there was only four D-Dubs there. Well, I'll say FFC, because at my time, at this time, that was the name that was really pushing either SEC, South End Crew, or FFC, Funky Fresh Crew. Those are the names that I know. Maybe D Dub was known then, but I'm just saying that I don't remember that name being pushed as heavily or as hard as FFC. And remember, I'm talking when I'm 12, so I'm not trying to make it seem like I knew everything about them. I'm just going off my limited, I'm not going to say limited, my memory as much as I know because I didn't know a whole lot about them. My brother, Wayne, hung around them with Frame way more, and Joe Palmer, rest in peace, way more than me. I mean, not no way more than me, period, because I never hung around them cats. That was his thing. He was up for violence. He was sick like that, so he can hang with that crowd. I wasn't really cut like that. My brother used to like dog, our pit bull go on other dog. He was just ruthless, so he had no qualms with hanging with. I'll tell you some stories that he told me about being around the legendary Breeze. I'll definitely tell you some. But so like I was saying, they was about to get on Rochelle, and while they trying to get on her, she runs over, ping 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 ping, just putting them on him, and then she said, I ain't gonna say the chick's name, but I ended up messing with the chick later. She said she parked her literally under a car. I mean, hit her so hard that she flew underneath a car. I mean, you got to hit somebody pretty hard as a female to park them underneath a park car. Hey, but she was ruthless, ruthless, and could go. But she had already put hands on three of them and then parked the other one. Oh, and it was a cold little scuffle. But this young lady had goals. And anybody knows who I'm talking about. She was, well, I was small. She was tall, dark skinned, and yeah, she was with it. For real with it. But I was about to give the rest of her makeup, but then I was thinking about it like, hey, I shouldn't have been looking as young as I was and trying to look at her because she probably would have smacked the cat for trying to look at her cakes. So I can't just make it seem like I was looking at her like that, even though I was. But yeah, so let me not just give too much info. Let me quit. Let me quit. Let me quit. Um, Now her cousin, yeah, I think everybody in Seattle was looking at her for real, for real. That's just, but she was more of a brute beast, but she's a female, but she scrapped like a dude. So it's just like different for you to look at someone that's getting them like, I don't know, I guess it's a little different for me. But anyway, she was packing. Put it like that. Man, look here, we don't get out all that extra. Maybe I shouldn't have been looking at the big homegirl because she's more like a big sister, but look here, it is what it is. Matter of fact, just literally, I thought about this other story. I kid you not. My brother had threw a party at his house where he was staying with his. He called her his sister. She may not give me the okay with this, but no, I think my sister be okay. Anybody remember Selena? Selena, that's our sister. Um, One of the first bloods that came in town. He had came up 215 and he found out that was my bro's sister, and him and my bro was cool, and they ended up having her first child. So do the math. Nevertheless, they had a party out in Des Moines. Man, after the party, here I am. I have been drinking, and everybody, I'm talking about South End and CD Cats were at this party, and we were all thick. It was a nice, good party. No scrapping took place. It was just a respectful party, and it was going down. I mean, it was really popping. So afterwards, I got the bright idea. I'm with my big partner, 6'4" Mo. I'm with him. Now, this is when we were young pups, both of us. But I'm with him because he's going back home. Now, I was supposed to be staying the night at my bro's house where our mama, she stayed in the central, but I was supposed to be staying the night. But here I got the bright idea that I'm going to follow Lady T and in Rochelle. Remember, I said how everybody in the town was trying to was I'll say looking at her. Not saying everybody got at her, but she was just one of them that everybody wanted her. Higher, about the same height as me. I mean, pow, 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 pow. Everything was popping. Man, we catching the bus. I had been drinking again, but got a little lit as a kid. I'm only 12. Excuse me. We get over to their house, which is like I said, down by the U district, and I don't know why I had the bright idea to say I'm gonna go around to the back because it's late. Everybody's going home. And I don't know why I went following, sniffing a little too hard, thinking I'm about to really get some from this woman. Probably was grown at the time. I'm, I'm being facetious. She wasn't that much older than me, but it seems like that when they're that much older than you when you're that young. I goes following behind them, and I got the bright idea, telling them, "Oh, come with me, come with me." So my partner, he follows with me. It gets so cold. We in the back of the store, not too far from the house, lighting fires, trying to stay warm. So I'm like, man, forget this. I went to the back of the house and I'm knocking on the window. I climbed up to the top. There's a little storage shed for the people downstairs for them, and then there's a little roof that you can get on. It's kind of easy accessible when you're a youngster and you're agile like I was when I was younger, very thin, didn't have all this. And I gets up on top of the joint, banging on the window, banging on the window, and neither one of them is answering. And I'm saying their names, but I'm gonna say Lady T, Rochelle, and I'm banging on the window, and nobody's responding. And so I guess I look back down at Mo, and I'm like, man, ain't nobody answering. And when I turn back around, I'm getting swatted on where either a broom or a nightstick or something. And she said they're governments. Lady T and Rochelle your SSS and just start cracking me for trying to come through the window because she knew once I'm saying their names loud, but they're not hearing it. They must be knocked out. But their grandma was able to hear it. Oh man, grandma started cracking me. Do you know I never went back over the house to even visit ever again because I knew if I went through them doors, she was gonna let me have it, and she is gonna crack me at nighttime. Come on, we're gonna. This is back in the '80s. This is when mamas and them was still whooping kids, and it was legit. You can get it done to you, and yeah. So I knew, grandma, yeah, she's gonna give it to me. So I never went back by there. Just like, okay, man, I'm gonna just take this little whooping. I'm not gonna go back over there and get punished even more. And who knows, Lady T probably would have threw them on me just for the fact that I even disrespected the house at 2 in the morning, banging on a window, because evidently they was knocked out. Because had they heard it, even though I was halfway drunk at 12, she probably would have punched me up right then for being that out of pocket. You got to be drunk, halfway stupid. Nigga, you gonna bang on grandma's window knowing that we gonna get in trouble for what you did? Yeah, she probably would have put hands on me because she was that good with them things. Let's be clear. Probably still is. I'm in my 50s. She's a little older than me, probably. Anyway, man, she can throw 'em. Bottom line, anybody that knows who I'm talking about from the Central or South End, they know who I'm talking about, and she got goals. Bottom line. Now, some people say this other lady I never met, and her name starts with a T, and she from the, now they said she had scraps, but remember I'm not from the South End. They said she had scraps and she would have probably gave the homie a run for her money, but I didn't know that she had an opposing figure because I always thought of her as like the all in all scrapper of Seattle because kind of small. So I just thought, yeah, but my bad, y'all. I don't mean to keep running my mouth, but like, comment, subscribe if you liked it. I'm one of these type of guys. This is what this channel is about. If you don't like it, don't like it. I'm not gonna force nobody. Oh, you like, comment, subscribe. That if you want to, if it was cool enough, or if I'm saying something wrong, if you don't agree with it. Because another thing we ain't doing, we ain't finna be fussing, cussing, or busting on this channel. All we doing here is having a lightweight discussion. So get at your guy. Um, like I said, do all that they say to do. But it would be nice for y'all to do that. And definitely comment because I want to have some dialogue with my cats from the town because they might spark up some old memories that I didn't forgot. Remember, I'm just saying this to remind folks, I did have a stroke. So that's something that did mess with my brain. So there might be something in this story that I got wrong or didn't get right, or other stories that I mentioned. But definitely get in the comments if nothing else, and let's talk about it because this is our town. This is what we're due. If you pay attention to the YouTube scene, the one person that really got California on the map in terms of YouTube is Kev Mack. He went around through all the different neighborhoods, or he interviewed, not necessarily he went to them all, because it's still, high tech down there when it comes to gang banging. But he did interview a lot of these different blood, Crip, Piru hoods, who he interviewed because he knew how important it is to get that history. And that's something he talks about regularly to this day. There's certain cats he wish he would have got on there because of the history, and they wish he would have got this person. They had passed away. So I'm saying that this is our town, and we want to make our town noticeable. We want to say what we've done because we know what we are known for, throwing them things. And people from out of town, East Coast and West Coast, because I done got to fight with a couple of cats from East Coast and the West Coast. Let's be clear. So Seattle cats, we've been known for throwing these things first before throwing these things down there. Let's get that clear. Anyway, not gonna get too more involved with that. So do all the do alls with the like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate it. Like I said, this is D Chill at D Chill the discussion. I'm out. Peace.